A stunning revelation in the courtroom left Diddy visibly shaken. His attorney had no way to prepare for the footage that would change everything. The room fell into complete silence. The judge barely had time to absorb the prosecution's words before Diddy's face went pale. His legal team scrambled, whispering in hushed tones, but there was no stopping it now. The moment the prosecution declared they had video evidence featuring a teenage Justin Bieber, the energy in the courtroom shifted dramatically. We're going to begin with something Diddy and his lawyers knew was bound to surface eventually. And now it finally has. A new indictment, or rather, a superseding indictment, has been filed, completely replacing the original one that federal prosecutors had initially submitted. The biggest revelation here? 2 additional victims have now come forward. This isn't just another lawsuit, another allegation. This is something far more serious. And for the first time, the man who built an empire on confidence, power, and an air of invincibility looked genuinely afraid. Sean Diddy Combs was reportedly taken to a hospital while awaiting trial on multiple trafficking charges. According to Page 6, the 55-year-old was transported from the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn late on January 30th for an MRI scan. After a brief evaluation, he was returned to police custody later that night. But let's rewind for a moment, because to fully grasp why this moment hit so hard, you have to understand the tangled web of chaos that led up to it. Once hailed as the king of hip-hop, Sean Combs is now fighting for everything: his legacy, his freedom, and the empire he spent decades building. Multiple lawsuits, federal charges, and now his co-defendant in a civil case, one that accuses him and another A-list celebrity of a horrifying crime, has started fighting back. That co-defendant? None other than Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. And he's now taking direct shots at attorney Tony Busby, questioning his credibility and demanding sanctions against him for allegedly mishandling the case. Jay-Z's argument? That Busby's filings contain major inaccuracies and that he failed to conduct a proper investigation before moving forward. Now, we've discussed this before, but just to recap, a civil lawsuit was filed against Sean Combs by a Jane Doe, who claimed that both Combs and another celebrity assaulted her after the 2000 Video Music Awards. She was just 13 years old at the time. Weeks later, Busby amended the lawsuit, revealing the name of the second accused. Jay-Z rumors of a disturbingly dark lifestyle had been circling Diddy for years, but now even his closest allies are backing away faster than ever.
Justin Bieber, who was signed by Usher, involved with Scooter Braun, now all of a sudden he's being put in the hands of Diddy, who, it is true, he became the legal guardian for Usher. You can look up all of the allegations of what Diddy did to Usher. A lot of this coming out via multiple lawsuits that essentially, if we were to put it in a nice context, or at least use a euphemism for something that's really disgusting, the allegations are essentially that Diddy very much initiated Usher into Hollywood. And as we are going through these lawsuits and Diddy is in prison, we are recognizing that everybody knew. This was an open secret about what Diddy was doing. So it just begs the question, who allowed Justin Bieber to be in the presence of this man, knowing what he was up to? Allegedly up to. That seems to be very clear, that there is some veracity to those claims.
Serious questions. Why was Bieber constantly around Diddy as a teenager? Why did Diddy talk about their time together like it was some kind of secret initiation? Then, an old video resurfaced. A clip from 2009 that had been largely forgotten suddenly started making the rounds again. In it, Diddy boasts about spending 48 hours with a 15-year-old Justin Bieber. What we're doing, we can't really disclose, Diddy says with a grin, glancing at the camera. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. Bieber, sitting beside him, plays along. Let's just go get some girls. He laughs. Justin Bieber had just turned 15, and suddenly it seemed like Hollywood was eager to welcome him. Almost like there was an initiation process he had to go through. And I want you to feel just as uncomfortable as I did watching this next clip of Bieber interacting with none other than Diddy. Justin, he's in. You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy. Him and his boy, they're having the time of their lives. Like, you know where we're hanging out and what we're doing? We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. At the time, it might have seemed like nothing more than an odd exchange between a powerful music mogul and his young protege. But after the allegations against Diddy erupted, that clip started looking a whole lot darker. Young Justin Bieber, signed by Usher, managed by Scooter Braun, and now suddenly in the hands of Diddy? And yes, Diddy did at one point have legal guardianship over Usher. If you look into the multiple lawsuits against Diddy, you'll find disturbing claims about what allegedly happened to Usher under his mentorship. Now, with these allegations coming to light, it begs the question, who allowed Bieber to be in Diddy's presence? And then, the unthinkable happened. Inside the courtroom, the prosecution produced a video, a piece of evidence so damning that Diddy's legal team immediately objected. But it was too late. The judge allowed it. Diddy's lawyers demanded full copies of the footage, not just the opportunity to view it in the prosecution's office. They argued that under federal law, they had the right to inspect and duplicate any electronic evidence in the government's possession. But the judge wasn't having it. Their motion was denied, for now. For years, Bieber has dodged questions about his early career, his mentors, and the industry figures who shaped him. But ever since Diddy's legal downfall began, Bieber has been making deliberate moves that suggest he's trying to distance himself from his past. First, he unfollowed Usher, a small action, but one that raised eyebrows. Then, he cut ties with Scooter Braun, the manager who had guided his entire career. And then, old interviews resurfaced. Bieber speaking candidly about the horrors of Hollywood, about the people who failed him, about the trauma he was still processing, and that viral moment, the one where Bieber, visibly emotional, spoke about his desire to protect young artists like Billie Eilish from the dark side of the industry. Now, people are asking, protect her from what? From who? What exactly did Justin Bieber go through? Fans started connecting the dots, and so did the prosecution. Diddy's legal troubles began with one accusation. A musician named John Doe claimed Diddy drugged and assaulted him at an after-party in 2015. But that was just the beginning. More allegations surfaced. More lawsuits. More evidence of a carefully orchestrated criminal enterprise designed to silence victims and maintain control. Diddy spent decades controlling the narrative. But now, the walls are closing in, because this isn't just about lawsuits or accusations anymore. This is about something much bigger, something far more sinister. And the question remains, will Justin Bieber finally speak out, or will the industry that failed him once before convince him to stay silent? If you want to stay updated on the latest developments, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the truth